Good morning all. So this is going to be a two-part video. What I haven't figured out is whether it's two parts in one video or two separate videos. I suppose you'll find out in a few minutes. And this is going to be the upgrade to GodBoxV3. So that's my workstation there. Well, I say an upgrade, it's going to be a modification. So GodBoxV3 has a couple of USB 3 ports in it. There's, I think, four. There's either 4 or 6 around the back, and it's got 2 at the front. So there's 2 USB 3 ports at the front. Those USB 2 ports are actually not hooked up to anything, purely from a point of view of, well, there are no USB 2 headers on the board. So that board is a super micro something or other. I can't even remember the name of it. I'll put a link to the description somewhere in the show notes. And essentially it has USB 2 ports on the back, but it doesn't have USB 2 headers for extra things. So essentially those 4 ports are empty. So on the front, easily accessible, I've got 2 USB 3 header or 2 USB 3 ports. I've actually added down there somewhere this little doohickey here, Anchor USB hub. That's hooked up to the back on a USB 3, so that's where all my USB 3 connections are plugged in pretty much. There is a handful of stuff that's connected in the back, but that's about it. So this is where this little care box comes in. So first we have the other thing is they're actually USB 3 ports, so three only. So this is where this comes in. So I have a Red Comet U21, which is a PCIe card. I can't remember, I think it's an X4 or an X2. Or well, it's Gen... let me try. Actually, you know what? It doesn't tell me on the box. Interestingly, it doesn't tell me on the box. Anyway, I think that looks like it's an X4. Could be wrong. I'll find out in a minute when I open it. Anyway, so this has 3 USB 3, or they're 3.2 Gen 2 ports on this. So they're 10 gig a second as far as I can remember. And these basically there's 3 USB A's and 2 USB C's, right? Now, that's going to help a bit because I'm going to end up with ports on the back. This little doohickey, actually, easier to show you if I open it. This one is a USB card. Crap. I might have to drop it. CD. Who the hell still includes? Right. There's a CD with drivers in this, which is going to be extremely useful given that, well, I don't actually have a CD drive, so I'm not sure what that's going to do. Anyway, this little doohickey here, PCIe card. Now this is, so that's a 3 PCIe 3 X2. So based on the picture, this must be an X4. So this is PCIe 3 X2. You've got a USB port inside of it. I think this is 3.2. Let me see what it says on the box. These are 3.2 Gen 2. So this must be a 3.2 Gen 2 internal port. And then, well, this is a standard USB A if you're running inside of a machine. And then you've got a front header. This is where things get interesting. Right? Now there is, there's supposed to be anyway. There we go. Okay, so there is an adapter if you want to put it into something that's half height. Or if you wanted to put something into a box that's half height, you can use that, or you can just use the full one that comes with it. needless to say, the machine that I have is big enough. It's going to be a full one. I'm going to open this box actually, because I was talking about this and I never opened it. So this is telling me it's based on, oh cool, yeah, okay, that's interesting. Right. My unboxing also is going to be a box destruction video, because I've had to rip the box apart to get to it. So inside you have a little baggie. In the baggie you've got two baggies. One includes a screwdriver with some screws, which is always handy to have because you can never have enough screwdrivers. Well, you can, but you will always lose them. And then there's your little adapter plate for it. And then in here, I am assuming is, okay, so we've got a thank you card. We've got the instructions, which we will probably generally ignore. We have a static bag with the actual card itself. Let's have a look and see. Okay, so this is actually the card itself. So that looks like it's X4. I think that's X4. You've got two USB 3 ports, or you've got three USB 3A or USB A ports and two C ports. They're all 3.2 Gen 2, which basically means they should be all at least 10 gig a second, and because it's a 4X slot, or at least it looks like a 4X slot, that should be fast. So between these two, once these go into the machine, I will have a load of extra USB ports to play with. Now, still doesn't help me with the front facing stuff. Well, this one does. But how do I connect to it, given that my machine doesn't actually have any front USB 3 headers? Well, 3.1 headers. So, right. Knife opened. This is where things get interesting. So first things first, that little bag that I've just thrown on the floor seems to have something in it. So here we go. So that is what looks like a USB-C connector, and that is your internal USB header. It's interesting that this can be done off a USB-C connector. I wouldn't have needed both cards. Heck, I saved myself right, I could have saved myself a bit of money. Right, ignoring that. So here we go. So you have power in, you have USB-C in, you have a load of capacitors, and on the front you have two quick charge 3 ports, two Type A Gen 2 ports, and a Type C Gen 2 port. And essentially it's in a nice 5.1 slot, which, if all goes to plan, should look something like that. Hopefully in a bit further. There we go. So that will be in the front, and I will have access to all of my USB-C ports. Well, I'll have access to the USB-C, a couple of Type A's, and a couple of quick charge ports. These are hard drives, by the way. So, well, those two are hard drives, that one is empty. And yeah, so that should be interesting. So we have that there's a little baggie which I've thrown on the floor somewhere, which I'll have to go looking for, that has some bits and pieces in it. I'm just going to throw these all into a random box and hope I remember where I put them. So, now, since this is going to involve power off, crap, you can go on the floor as well, can't fall any further if it's already on the floor. So since this is going to involve a power off job for GodBoxV3, I have also decided to add in these two. Now, GodBoxV3 is running DDR4 memory, and these are 2666 memory, which is what's already in there. Now, that machine, GodBoxV3, sorry, is two 20-core Xeon Gold machine or processors, and I have 192 gigs of RAM in it at the moment. And then the plan will be, this will be added in. They're two 32-gig sticks, so that's going to bring it up to 256 gigs of RAM. Now, this is going to involve actually an awful lot of messing around, because I have to move memory sticks around the place to get in there. And yeah, with the way my desk is set up and everything else, it's a bit tight. So, yeah. So this is going to be a fun one. I might swap out the graphics card. That P2000 is getting a little bit long in the tooth. I do have there's a GTX 970 up there, and there's a 1060 that's going spare at the moment, so either of those two might go in instead. I might leave the P2000 in there and add in one of these graphics cards if I have enough ports. I have to go and try and remember what ports I actually have and where everything is going. But yeah, so tell you the truth, I think this is going to be a two-parter, and it's going to be two separate videos, purely from a point of view of it's going to be a major amount of work to get this machine to be able to be taken apart and then to start upgrading memory and everything else. So that's going to be part two. Hopefully that will be done by next week. So if we say in a week's time, I hope to have the second video done. Fingers crossed anyway. So if you want to see the second part of this video where I start taking apart the GodBox, comment, like, subscribe, all that usual jazz, and yeah, fingers crossed I don't break anything. Alright, thanks, and good luck. Bye now.